One night, strange events occurred around a farmhouse in Dartmoor, Devon. The owners of the farm, George and Mary Hicks, noticed mysterious lights and unusual sounds around their home. Initially, the farm owners thought these events were a natural phenomenon. However, the events increased over time and the farmhouse witnessed strange occurrences almost every night. The lights appeared in a circular shape around the farmhouse, and the animals in the area began to behave anxiously. The farm owners began to share these events with their neighbors and villagers in the surrounding area. Many people visited the farmhouse and witnessed the strange occurrences. The events were covered in local newspapers and media outlets and became known as the Devon Circle. The strange events in the farm had a significant impact on the Hicks family, causing them to live in fear. However, after a while, the bizarre occurrences at the farmhouse spontaneously ceased, disappearing mysteriously without any explanation. The mysterious footprints, known as the Incredible Devil's Footprints, were observed by almost all residents of Devon, England, following a sudden heavy snowfall one night in 1855. These footprints, which spread over hundreds of kilometers in the records of that time, were reported to have reached thick walls and haystacks as if they posed no obstacles, and continued on the other side in the same alignment without any explanation. Although the size of the footprints may have grown over time due to weather conditions, whatever caused them remains a mystery. On February 8, 1855, a heavy snowfall covered South Devon, including towns, like a blanket. The snowfall started at midnight and continued until 6 a.m. the next day. Something left numerous hoof-shaped footprints from the river Exe to the Dart River in Totnes on top of this snow layer. Early risers encountered strange footprints resembling hooves that continued in straight lines across roofs and walls over vast areas of the countryside. One of the footprints seemed to have crossed the 2-mile-wide Exe River, as if walking on water, and reached the opposite shore. When the strangeness of the event became apparent, people started coming to the scene to conduct more scientific investigations. A naturalist drew the footprints on paper and determined that the distance between them was approximately 8.5 inches. These measurements were consistent with the other footprints in the vicinity. The naturalist also noted that the footprints seemed to belong to a two-legged creature rather than a four-legged animal, based on the direction they were heading. A local priest claimed that the footprints belonged to the devil, who was roaming the country in search of sinners, but this theory based on superstition was quickly rejected by other clergy members. It was undeniable that the possibility of the creature had made the footprints returning caused unrest and fear among some of the townspeople. Within a few days, the incident was reported in the local Devon press and then in national newspapers such as The Times and The Illustrated, with similar headlines. This led to the involvement of not only renowned scientists but also non-professionals in the investigation, resulting in the acquisition of new data as well as unnecessary speculation. The tracks, which had spread across Topsham to Devon, had experimented with all dimensions of absurdity. Some abruptly ended and then continued in distant places. Some stretched up to 14 feet high on walls without touching the snow on top of the walls. Some were said to follow the alignment of drainage pipes. Although some suspected that the tracks were left by a kangaroo that had escaped from Mr. Fish's private zoo in Sidmouth, the tracks on the ground did not resemble those left by kangaroos. Sir Richard Owen, a renowned biologist, claimed that the tracks were made by badgers roaming the area in search of food. The tracks had changed shape as the snow melted. While this theory was accepted for a while, it was later realized to be false, and other theories were proposed, such as tracks made by raccoons, mice, swans, otters, or even an abandoned rope hanging from a hot air balloon passing through the sky. Perhaps some of the tracks can be explained in this way, but what caused the tracks seen all over the country remains unknown. Similar events have occurred in many parts of the world. In fact, one such event was recorded in Britain. Ralph of Coggeshall, a 13th-century writer, wrote that after a powerful thunderstorm on July 19, 1205, hoof prints appeared on the ground. These prints were said to be visible only on soft soil due to it being mid-July. It is not yet known if there are any other natural occurrences that could cause such formations as a result of electric storms. The Devil's footprints will remain a puzzling mystery until a similar event occurs again and is immediately investigated.